suffocates, whisper in the hall, where justice wears a mask and truth begins to fall. Every thread they pull, every lie they weave, in the courtroom's dance, who's left to believe? Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight. A photograph fades where the truth once stood, blurred lines between the bad and the good. The scales they tilt with every silver tongue, while the broken cry for a song unsung. Black robes sway like shadows on the wall, one wrong word and the mighty fall. Who's a sinner? Who's a saint? The jury's out, but the verdict's faint. Oh, the devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end. The devil's in the details, hiding in plain sight, innocent until the gavel steals the light. True crime echoes through the hollow night, fighting injustice with no end in sight.
All right, welcome to another Crimes After Dark. And can I get away from backstage? Make sure that you guys can hear me and the sound's all good. Oh, nobody's waving at me. Okay, I am getting away backstage. Okay, good. Crimes After Dark, Devil's Advocates on a Thursday night. It felt like a Friday. I was starting to get ready to get a little bit of a drink on before the show, and I was like, no, it's not even Friday night. It's not drinking night. I don't have a drinking night. I feel like I should have a drinking night. Friday night feels like the night, if you're going to do it, is a great night to do it. Tonight, we're going to get into kind of like a free-for-all. I want to encourage audience participation. I know that we're not great with our audience. I'm not great with my audience. It's one of my downfalls. I got a whole list of them, but that's one of them. But we're going to try to get your comments and your questions. I do want to caveat something, and I talked a little bit with this backstage to everybody, but I didn't tell them an extra part I'm going to add. I have a little extra energy in me tonight. I might do a follow-on show after this show for members only. And the reason why I'm saying it is there's a lot of discussion going on about the crime scene photos that were put out by Idaho. And I know a lot of people want to talk about very specifics in the crime scene photos, which frankly are a little morbid when you're I understand we're a true crime show, but getting into the details, it's a little morbid, and I don't think it's appropriate for the public audience. So the way I might handle it is I might, after the live stream with the public, if you want to talk about some of those specifics, which gets a little too dark for the live public show, I might make that members only available, so that we can talk about some of the things I know you want to talk about, but it's just none of us are real comfortable on this show. I can tell you that. None of us are real comfortable talking about it. We are still respectful of the families to the extent that we can, even though I know the families think we're being disrespectful for questioning Brian Koberger's guilt. We're still trying to do the best we can not to damage families and stuff like that. And so we don't want to show those photos, but in the members only area, it's one of those things you have to pay to be there. So if you paid to be there, it's a little different scenario than just putting it out there in the public where everybody can see it. So I don't know if my panelists will totally agree with what I just decided to do, but that's kind of like an impromptu. I was like, I think that might be the way to handle that. Let's go ahead and bring our panelists on. JJ from State of the Deep will be showing up a little bit later. He'll be here soon. But right now, we're bringing Dago. Again, this is kind of in the order that they queued up backstage. So Dago, how are you doing tonight?
Forget about it. Wonderful. Thank you for having me. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm good. I know that you and I think a lot alike on those crime scene photos, and I know that you've got people that are pressuring to look at it. And look, I mean, there's some shocking details. I've seen some things. I don't even want to get into the details. I've seen some things that are a little graphic, right? More than a little graphic, as we've analyzed it. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I'm a little different with something. Like those photos, I personally myself will review them like in my Discord. If anybody's in my Discord, we'll do it there. Yeah. I don't want to put them out on my channel live. Again, it's out of respect, things like that. That's just how I feel. And I know that they don't like us regardless, no matter what we do. They think we're being disrespectful, but we're really not. In our minds, we're here doing this in a sense for them to try to find and point out the truth and make them see what we're seeing. Sorry, I got hiccups. As to why we're doing that. And that's truly why we're doing it, guys. I promise you that I know for a fact, because I've talked with Lee about it, as well as myself, we don't enjoy sitting here looking at photos that way, okay? We just, we don't at all. It's not something I want to look at. I've seen enough of it, okay? So, again, that's why I do it the way I do. I think Lee's got a good idea to do it the way he's doing it. And it's purely out of respect, in my opinion, so.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We'll bring Robin up here in a second. I want to add one more caveat to that. We also have a Discord channel, and we have the way we handled it before is we have a channel in Discord called Graphic Crime Scene Photos. We're a true crime case, so you're going to look at graphic true crime photos, but it's by invite only. People actually have to request access, and we say this is graphic. If you get access to the folder, it's graphic, and they have to say, yes, I want to see those things. So again, what I don't want to do is shock the public by showing them something they weren't prepared for. They didn't want to see, things that you can't unsee when you see it. So the way we've handled it before is we put a Discord channel that's locked down. You have to ask for access. You're told specifically what you might see, what may be graphic. You have to be an adult. You have to be able to handle that. And if you say all those things, then you get in. Just real quick, I know Robin's waiting backstage to get part of this conversation. I also want to point out that there are those, I'm sure, who will think the reason why I'm paywalling it behind members only is so I can make money off of the graphic crime scene photos. I can't say this strongly enough. Piss off. I just told you why we're doing it. It's because we're trying to show respect to the public that we're not show it to the public. So putting it behind a paywall isn't so I can make money off the shit, and that stuff's got to stop. That's not what it's for. It's actually for protecting the public from things that they don't want to see. So let's get Robin up on stage. And Robin, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Thanks to you gentlemen for being here with me again. It's always great when I can be here with you guys. So, and of course the Den and our mods and everybody. Oh, what's happening with you there, DA?
I'm sorry. Just keep going. I'm a cluster. I don't know
okay. I'll just kind of piggyback off of that. I know some people were a little upset last night because we kind of went off the rails a little, but to Dago's point, when we're looking at this stuff all day, we kind of need to cut loose a little bit and decompress, and we do want to be respectful. We do. And so we are trying our hardest to kind of walk that fine line between making sure that things are available for the people who want to see these things to be able to view, but yet also we know some of this stuff can be traumatizing to some people. So there is this fine line that we kind of need to walk a little bit in order to kind of satisfy both things.
I want to add something to that too real quick, if it's okay, guys. There's people that I've spoken to throughout this 4 years I've been here. We've had these conversations about other crimes, other photos, other crime scene photos, okay? There's people that have said, I can handle it. Just show it to me. I want to see it. I know I can handle it. And then they saw it.
And then they're wrong.
They couldn't handle it, okay?
Yeah.
I don't want to be responsible for doing that to somebody because I've done that to myself. I'm being honest with you folks.
Yeah.
I've seen probably the worst of the worst of the worst of anything you can imagine. Okay. So I'm not going to put something out there. Not that I don't trust you guys to make your own decisions, because I do. there's certain things that will trigger people they don't even realize. Okay, it's a fact. It's a psychological fact. I'm just saying. So that's another reason why I don't do certain things, because I do care about all of these people, all of you people, every one of you guys I care about. I love people, period. You guys that know me know that. So mostly it's out of respect for the victims themselves and their families. But again, I'm just not going to throw something out there and go, it's not so bad, guys, check it out. And then next thing you know, you're falling out in the living room having a fit, because it was really that bad. Because they are really that bad, because you get into your head over it, folks. That's something people don't think about. So I'm just going to add that. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah. Yep. I'm glad you said it, because I want to spend a little time with this because of what the nature of it is. Again, we're a true crime channel. And so people sometimes don't realize what they're asking when they're involved in true crime. Just like you said, I want to reiterate that. I've seen at least 2 things, maybe 3 things in my life that I would say psychologically damaged me for my entire life after seeing it. I thought I wanted to see it. I saw it, and then I'll never unsee that. And the shock to the senses that a human being could do something like that won't go away from me. Right. And so in some regards, I don't want to ever do that, like you said, to somebody where you're like, look, and you don't know who's going to react that way. It could be something that you can handle just fine, and somebody else will be traumatized the rest of their life having seen it. So
I don't have PTSD for no reason, folks. It's a fact. Yeah. I absolutely have been diagnosed with it because of my job. It's not for no reason. So that's why I know.
Yeah. So the last thing to say about, well, not the last necessarily, but again, to reiterate.
Have a great night, guys.
See you later. Bye. Thanks. True Crime Show. We're shutting down. Again, I think here's what I would say this. I'm going to go off on a side tangent. There's a reason why we want to see the crime scene photos. And it's not because we're a bunch of morbid people sitting there playing with ourselves because we get some kind of excitement out of seeing dead bodies. That's not it. In this case in particular, and in many cases, we question the official narrative. And until you can put your own eyeballs on it, and sometimes the best part about it is you had questions and then you see it and you go, well, fuck, I don't have any questions anymore. It did happen the way they said it. It's right there. Like, and sometimes it's careful what you ask for. They told you it was bad. You look at it and you're like, fuck, that was bad. But I guess you were right. Like maybe you were.
This is a perfect example.
By not showing me, right? Yeah.
This was a perfect example because I have different theoretical changes in my mind now since I've seen a lot of these photos of things that I've been thinking for 3 years. Now I'm thinking in a different direction because of a lot of the stuff I've seen in the past 3 days. That's a fact, folks. You can ask everybody that's been around me for the past 3 days. My mind has changed on a lot of different things now.
Likewise. Yep.
Let's talk about this, for example. There are people who said nobody died in that house. It's all a big staged event. It's a complete WITSEC operation, and nobody really died. Yet, if you see photos and you see a dead body, now you have to ask yourself, okay, so you still think it's a WITSEC because somebody's dead there, it looks like. So now the question is, at what level do you think they went to do the WITSEC extraction? Did they kill people and put them in the house just so they extract somebody else? I'm like, at some point it can put to bed some of the rumors. Now, maybe it won't put to bed the WITSEC thing, because maybe some people will say, look, they would have staged fake bodies and they would have made it look real. But the point being is that there's a big difference between nothing really happened and nobody actually got taken out of the house, and maybe you see bodies in the house and so somebody did die. There's a big difference, right? And it can put some of that stuff to rest. And that's part of the reason why we talked about those photos, is like, is this consistent with what they're telling us? And if so, does it put to bed this whole rumor that nobody died in the house? So
that's exactly why I went through them slowly, and in detail, and pointed out specific things. Typically unique. Kim, she joined me today. Willie was there for a little bit, and I give everybody a platform on my channel to be able to speak their mind on different things, to be able to express what they're seeing, feeling, and hearing. That's why we do that, guys, because 100% my mind has changed on a lot of things. I have a completely different picture for certain aspects now than I had 3 days ago. Truly. Okay.
Yeah.
Things have come to mind that I wasn't thinking of. And I'm telling you, seeing is believing. It truly is. I hate that. I just bit my tongue again. Seeing is believing.
I did do that. Yeah.
God, I hate that. But it's true, folks. I've seen this. You see it. It is bad. Okay. It's very bad. And like I said last night, we needed last night, folks. I needed last night. Okay?
Yeah.
You have to be able to decompress from this. 3 days of watching 3,000 photos full of blood is not good for your psyche, period. I'm telling you. So it is what it is, but that's why. It's not because we enjoy it. I want everybody to know that. I don't enjoy this. I would much rather sit and watch cartoons. I can promise you that right now than what we've been looking at. But it's a fact. We need to understand things. We need to know this. And I hate this case. You guys have heard me say that how many times? I hate this case. Yeah. But I'm not going to turn around until I get some kind of an answer to what the hell has happened in this case. So that's a fact.
Right. And so I know I've been watching the chat. For those, like I tell people all the time, I do watch the chat. I don't catch everything, but I do watch the chat. I don't pin a lot of the chat, but I do watch the chat. And I do see some mixed reaction in the chat where people are reminding me, this is a true crime channel. We want to see the crime scene photos. And I get it. I really do. I get it. All I can say is we made a conscious decision. What I don't want is some random public person scrolling through YouTube one day and they stumble upon our channel and on the screen is a graphic image and there was no warning, no time for them because they didn't watch the intro and they didn't listen to us talk about it. That's why we're talking about doing it in a closed door setting. So like I said, like members only. Yeah.
What if a child gets around a parental control or something like that and they start scanning through this and they see it and it causes that child to have some kind of a traumatic situation because of it? I don't want that to happen, you guys, at all. So,
I know, like I said, JJ from State of the Deep, Joe, he's gonna show up. He wants to talk about some of those photos. I'm gonna explain to him when he gets here a little bit again how we're gonna. I don't know if he can stay up late. I don't know if you guys can stay up late. I don't know if you want to join me. But there are questions. There are things I definitely want your opinions on very details to some of the graphic images. But I don't want to do it here. So what I do want to do is I want to ask people. Again, we cover more than one case. Idaho 4 is probably the premier case for this channel, as a lot of channels. By the way, I was doing some research, and Idaho 4 is just a monster in true crime in general. Like, it is the monster case still for everyone, not just us. But Delphi is picking up for us, but we also cover peripherally some other cases like Long Island serial killer, Luigi Mangione, Mickey Steins. I think I can't believe Mickey Steins is not a bigger case than it is right now because that case is nuts. Every time I'm looking, I'm like, how are we not talking about Mickey Steins?
I think Idaho is overplaying it. That's the problem, truly. But it is huge. It should be huge, way bigger.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, it should be enormous. And I think it may still pop off when the trials actually start.
I hope.
But yeah. So, but anyways, so this is a free for all. I want to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions. It's a great night actually to consider. Let's put the link out there and let people join us on stage. We'll roll the dice. And again, if you do come up on stage, be prepared to give a question or two, state your question, and then maybe we'll take you off screen and we'll respond to your questions. Maybe we'll have a little dialogue, but what we don't want to do is we don't want to get in that awkward situation where we just keep talking to one person all night long, and then it starts moving into other areas that aren't true crime related. And I see you got your true crime, your tinfoil hat on tonight. Very nice, very nice. So, yeah, I mean, we sometimes it's necessary.
I'm prepared. If it happens, here it is.
So, yeah, did you put it looks like Robin's put in the link. There's a link there that you guys should jump to. That will put you backstage. We'll acknowledge you. We'll tell you that we see you backstage and we'll bring you up on stage. If there's any questions that we can start answering, I'm going to look through and start looking for some questions we can talk about because we don't have a set plan. Unless you guys also want to tell me something you want to talk about, I'm going to start looking for stuff in the chat here.
I'll tell you guys that are on my side of things, if you want to jump on stage, you'll probably have to jump over to Devil's Advocate side to hit that link, and just so you guys know, okay?
Yeah, how do we? You know what? I mean, it's not going to be as easy for your group.
I mean, I can share it on my side if you want me.
I can show that's the address. Unfortunately, I don't know if they can see it in the chat if they're on your side, but they should be. Everyone should see that. Even your side should see that on their screen. So that's the address.
If you want to put it in the private chat, I think I can take it from there.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, you can just post it over in yours, right, Dago?
Yeah, that would work. Instead of
I put it backstage for you.
There we go. Thank you. I wasn't thinking straight at first. Sorry.
So somebody just said, Cat's Mojo said, will you also possibly do an after hours segment on your Discord in the voice lounge? That's not a bad idea. That's in some regards
stuff too.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I don't know that we can share images as well we can show images, but we couldn't do like live video, but I don't think. But
in the voice, yeah, you can. I can.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. You can do screen shares and stuff like that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I play
Not a bad idea.
in there too, so
not a bad idea. And we might do that because I think then we could also lock that down so it's not paywalled even. So we could make that then free. Maybe that's the best of both worlds. We could make it free.
That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. What else do we have? I'm just looking. If anyone wanted to see the really grand,
we play videos and everything over there.
Oh,
okay, cool. Yeah. I'll maybe that's a good place to do it. And like I said, maybe even a better place. I don't know that I'm set up to do it tonight. I might still do members only live here. I don't know. I don't know if I'm set up to do it right away off because a lot of people don't know about our Discord channel yet, and we don't promote it a lot. So
jump in there, guys.
Yeah, getting a lot more members lately, though, so I'm glad of that. So yeah, we do have
we watch
Discord
movies in ours, you guys. It's a good place to do a lot of things. I'll say that much.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will move in that direction. We will definitely move in that direction. I like that. I like that idea a lot. Again, because I don't want to necessarily make people have to pay because it sends the wrong message, right? To making them pay to see graphic content makes it feel a little too close to you're making money off of this. And that's not the intent.
That's why I won't do
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's not like you make that much.
It's $3. It's $3. It's not like you're making a fortune, but but it wasn't for the money. Just try to restrict the audience, but
right.
There are people out there that like to create problems. So
I like you were saying, Dago, there are so many things, like, did it start outside? Like I'm starting to like go back over the like in my mind, the camera footage from the 1112 house. And like, okay, so what were we really hearing there? And part of the problem is we don't know everything that they've messed with.
Yeah.
That's a good point, and I'm glad you brought that up, Robin, because I was actually going to approach that conversation here tonight. It's like you're in my head or something. That's weird. But I literally was going to bring that up because Kim and I from Typically Unique, she was joining me today. We talked about that because we were looking out of a window in Xana's bedroom, okay? And at some point, we realized where the window was, and we were kind of like, Kim was like, so that's the 1112 house there, and okay, bye-bye, Lee. And then we were looking at the distance around it and how close that camera is to the house there, and what we have thought we heard through that audio, okay? So I've come to the realization the way we hear that audio, it's very mumbled to some extent, but we do hear things. And if somebody's standing in Xana's bedroom specifically, okay, screaming, if they're screaming in that bedroom back and forth at each other, screaming, yelling, attacking somebody, I have no doubt in my mind at this point now that camera was absolutely able to pick up that sound. Will we hear gurgling or choking? Probably not. Slamming, banging, kicking a door in, throwing a chair against the wall, 100%. Screaming,
right?
Absolutely. Yelling, male voices, screaming, yelling, 100%. And I have no doubt in my mind that light bulb camera, the microphone picked up whatever the hell went on. And now, after seeing Xana's bedroom, a lot went down in that room. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually am of the mindset now that Kaylee may possibly have been attacked and lost her life in that room, possibly too now. Okay. Because of her blood being in certain places in the house that it shouldn't be. Okay. And if you look at the photographs of Maddie's bedroom and realize what happened to Kaylee, there's no way in hell that Kaylee, in my mind, died in that room.
No.
I don't believe she was attacked or killed in that room. I think she ran, maybe had walked in on Maddie being attacked and killed, and took off, and they chased her. Okay. And they caught up to her as she was heading maybe to Xana's room to get Ethan to protect her, or even maybe trying to get to that stairwell to get outside, but got caught there. And they found her blood on the table. They found her blood on the half wall right there. Okay. And at that point, possibly headed the other direction, or they forced her into that room and attacked her there, possibly. And that, in my opinion, could possibly be what happened. So,
yeah,
but here's the thing. I mean, and this is what I am trying to actually right now figure out how to do the Discord thing instead of the paywall thing tonight, because it is kind of, I don't want anybody to get the heebie-jeebies that I'm trying to pay for that kind of stuff like that. So if we can do it in a private Discord, we'll do that.
That's why I do it, sir.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because the question that always comes up when so you talk about, you're not the only one who thinks, man, I don't think Kaylee now died in that room with Maddie. I think, and there's reasons, again, without getting into the details right now, there's a lot of reasons to think she didn't die there. But here's the problem. Why did they lie about it then?
I've been asking that all daily.
It's one thing to say, hey, I don't think it happened there. But what you're implying is that the police are in on lying to the public about where the person died. Why would they be in on lying about where the person died to everybody in America?
I've been trying to figure out a motive in my mind all day after watching this and coming to this conclusion in my mind. What's the big deal? They were murdered either way. So why would you have to lie about whether they were murdered in their bed, in their sleep,
right,
or on the move trying to get away from somebody? I'm trying to figure out why anybody would want to do that. I can't come to any kind of a real conclusion. That's the problem.
And I can, but the only way that it can is that they're trying to hide what they know really happened.
For what reason though?
Because again, on some of those conspiracy, I hate it. I hate conspiracy theory, right? But some of those theories that maybe NPD was working on a drug house angle and they were watching and they thought the house was going to get hit. If they don't want people to know that they were protecting people in the house and they failed and they got killed right under their nose, they might be inclined to hide the fact that it happened a different way, that it was a hitman that came in or somebody. They might want to. And so how far would they go to cover up their involvement and knowledge of a confidential informant that got killed? Like if they had a confidential informant and it got killed right under their watch, would they want to admit that, or would they like to sell to the people that, hey, this was just a random act of violence. It wasn't us fucking up there. It was just a random thing, So I don't know. But
yeah, it's it could, one could argue that they were kind of between a rock and a hard place, no matter kind of what they did, and depending on those above them, whatever they were kind of dictating to them, this is what you will do. But to me, they would, no matter what, they would have been better off just coming clean from the get-go about everything. But now you've got Brian Koberger sitting in jail, and I'm sorry, but after seeing everything we've seen, I don't think he is capable of any of that. I don't, with his dexterity issues and the fact that he with like the OCD and everything, I can't see it.
I agree. I just, but that's, I mean, and that's what I tell everybody when we're on the, when they're on the show is like, before we get too crazy with conspiracy theories, you need to always ask the question, why? And to me, the why isn't because they can fuck with you. They just fuck with you because they can fuck with you. That's not an answer that flies on my show.
Not a good enough answer.
Yeah, give me a good reason why they lied. And a good reason would be they're protecting the university on a big financial problem if it comes out, or they're protecting the fact that the FBI was involved in a drug cover-up, or a confidential informant got. Those are real legitimate whys. But they just fuck with you because they want to fuck with you.
There has been talk I've been seeing through the grapevine around town out here in the YouTube streets for a couple of days, that somewhere somebody had heard one of the police officers state that one of the victims was a CI. So
yeah,
I can't find any proof of this, to be able to verify it, but I have heard that more than one time now. So,
and
that would be an interesting reason.
And I don't want to get into it too heavy here.
Sure.
But one of the graphic details that was just shared with me just before coming live was there something written on a wall that we can observe that actually indicates somebody actually tried to send a message on something? And if that's the case, it leads to those CI type kind of situations. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, and again, I don't want to get into details about that. I don't want to get any more morbid than I just said, but if there's indications that something was written, and then that's something we need to talk about as a group and say, do you see this? Do you see what this person sees? And and is that what really is happening right there? And it's crazy.
Yeah, I saw some things that we were analyzing very interestingly enough that I didn't expect to see. I'll put it that way. For sure.
Like I didn't expect to see anything that would even come close to writing, but I kind of saw something tonight. I'm like, well, shit. Now I'm not sure that wasn't true. Somebody said CI because of what? I will give you. I want to be careful because again, I myself shy away from getting crazy conspiracy theory, and I say crazy conspiracy theory. That's not fair because not all conspiracies are crazy.
No.
The CI kind of situation we've covered before. And I'll try to be relatively brief, but we've covered before. Moscow Police Department has a contract with the University of Idaho to work with Greek life and contacts in Greek life to essentially do things like spy on drugs running through the Greek houses, to spy on sexual assaults running through the Greek houses. Every Greek house had a Moscow Police Department contact appointed to them and a point of contact. So when you've got somebody who's inside a sorority or fraternity working with police officers to tell them about any drugs or stuff that they're seeing going on inside the Greek houses, that can get people killed. And that is essentially what you call a confidential informant, somebody who's working with law enforcement to tell them about illegal activity happening within the sororities and fraternities. So that's what we're talking about. Something like that could have gotten somebody killed, for sure.
I can agree. Yes, sir.
Let's see. What else do we got? Somehow my wife came in and asked me something while we're in the middle of the live. Then she let the cat in. Now I've got a cat attacking my feet and all over my computer. I got to fight the cat. The cats are not even supposed to be in my studio. I'm gonna have to take myself off camera and kick some ass. I don't kick ass. I don't hurt animals, but you hear that animal in the back? Okay, that's it. I'm taking you guys talk for a minute. I got to go deal with some cat.
He's gonna go get his ass kicked by the cat.
He has to go herd the cats.
Yeah. Here, you know what happened?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there's a lot of I have a lot of different thought changes after looking at a lot of these photographs about certain situations, 100%. And then, like I said, when I started hearing the CI situation, somebody said that another channel put that out not too long ago too. Blah blah blah. So I mean, there's a lot of different reasons and things that have changed in my mind slightly about this case now. So
I agree. Like some things changed in my mind when I saw some of the photos and really spent some time thinking about it. I mean, some things definitely have changed for me. Primarily, of course.
I guess there's something that was stated on this body cam here, so on and so forth. And okay, I got it. I'm getting sent stuff left and right now. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Somebody on somebody's body cam.
It's on.
I guess says CI.
They're saying that it was a conversation between one. If I can say their names, is that okay or no?
Yeah.
Officer Snyder and Captain Lanyard. There was a conversation where it came out. It was stated. I don't remember it, but obviously. My mom
that they were talking about a confidential informant.
Yeah, being one of the victims.
Yeah. So, I think there's been hints in the documents that there was a confidential informant in the house.
I agree.
And let me say that takes it a lot out of the conspiracy to actual conspiracy
reality
act, right?
Yes.
Which is that there was a motive for law enforcement to maybe hide what happened. If they had a confidential informant killed right under their protection, it would be a major problem.
That would be huge, and it would look bad for both MPD and Idaho University, 100%. Because it's a student from the university that's an informant for MPD. We also have the contract that Lee brought up with between the two. Like that's a big problem, folks. That's going to make the entire area look bad. So.
And you have to understand the nuances of it, because listen, I'm gonna try to make this as clear as I can for people. If the university set up a program to implant officers in the Greek system so that they could look for drugs and whatever, and if that relationship, hey Joe, welcome to the show. If that relationship that they set up got kids killed, what a huge embarrassment for the university. They literally
reputation's gone, right?
Encourage students to rat on people, and that got them killed. And then they're like, oh shit, we can't let people know that I got your kid killed because I encouraged your kid to rat to the police about things, and I created the situation that got your kid killed. That would be a lot of motive to hide that embarrassment from the public.
If you want to hear that, Lee, I have it sent to me, keyed up to the part. If it's up to you, I have
absolutely. Let's do it. Can you put it backstage? Yeah.
Thank you to Fizzy. Like I said, my mods are the best. No offense to you guys, but my mods are the best on YouTube. I've always said that.
Yeah, Amanda just sent it to me.
Yeah.
While you get it queued up, let's say hi to Joe. Let Joe say something here from State of the Deep. How you doing, JJ?
What's up, everybody? Hi, Robin.
What's up, brother?
DA. Dago. What's up, guys?
Good to see
you.
you.
What's up, denizens? What's up, meatballs? What's up, mods?
I don't know if, did you hear any of the intro before you came in when we were talking or not?
A little bit.
Just to let you know, we've decided that we're going to hold off on showing, for example, some of the photos that you talked about. Hey, if we're going to talk about that tonight, let's hold off on it. We're not going to probably do it on the live stream. We're trying to be careful about being too graphic with showing potential bodies on screen.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So we're gonna do that afterwards. If you can stay late, we're gonna do it in a private group outside of the public airing, so that for those who want to see that kind of stuff and get into the details, we will. So if you can stay late, we'll do that. But I don't want to do it on the public stream. I just don't want anybody swiping through on YouTube and randomly see a body or something.
No, I got you, dude. I can stay late. I can stay late tonight, because how crazy was that, though?
It is crazy, and it's something we should talk about.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know about the secondary set of pictures. One sent that to me, and I'm like, why are you sending me pictures of this? And I was like, what the hell is this? And then I noticed, and I went, oh my God, okay. So wow, right. You know what I mean?
Because I went through the photos,
the
ones that we have, to confirm that that's real.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And it's pretty shocking.
It is a little off-putting for real, yes.
And I'll tell you, it's funny because one of the photos, and we talked about it the other night, one of the photos, you almost can't see it even when you know what you're looking for, but it's one of those things that once you see it, you're like, oh my God. Like it's right there in your face, and you still can't see it until you see it. And then when you see it, you're like, fuck.
The one I showed you the other night, when you took the magnifier, you're like, I don't know what you're talking. Oh, there it is.
Right.
Like, boom, it's in your
once
face.
You see it, it jumps out, and then you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
So,
and I was looking at the wrong picture. DA was telling me what to look at, but I was looking at the picture underneath that picture.
Gotcha.
So I'm like, I'm scouring this thing, but I was literally looking at the wrong photo. As soon as DA was like, no, it's this one, and I looked, I'm like, holy shit.
Right.
It is definitely there. And like he said, once your eyes focus and you see what you see, you're like, it's there forever. You're never going to see anything else but that then.
No, and I'm not someone who seeks out stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when it's there,
it's there. Yeah.
It's there, and it's reality, and it's like, I've seen a lot of
I didn't even know it, Joe. It was sent to me. I went through that and went right past it until somebody said, yo, look at this and look at this again. And I was like, I was like, what are you talking about? It's a pile of clothes. And I went, whoa. Like, holy shit, there it is.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, DA said you're not going to see it until you see it, and then you won't be able to unsee it.
That's it right there. And then you can't not see it. Yeah.
But the other ones that I was talking about with DA, it's pretty horrible, it's because it's right there. I mean,
very sad.
Yeah.
And I never would have thought to look at that. I wasn't.
That's just it. A lot of us were looking for the first time very quickly, going through 2,700 photos. Now that you've had time to sit and you're micro dealing it, and again, I want to be careful, guys. because I don't want to get too morbid here. But like I said, there was moments in the pictures when we went through, I said, what made that pattern? Remember, I talked about it. I'm like trying to figure out what made it. And then once I started to realize what it was, I was like, oh my God, like literally it takes a while for the brain to go, oh, that's what that is. And then it makes you kind of feel a little certain way. So
it's pretty bad. Yes.
It is, man. It is intense.
It is intense. Yeah.
Like I said, I've seen some really bad stuff. Okay. I've seen even worse than this, but for some reason, it's the way this is. It's not what it is. It's the way that it looked. It's really gotten to me a little bit. I'll be honest with you. So,
yeah. And you know, Dago, I honestly, I feel because we've learned so much about these people, you know, over the last 3 years.
Personal feeling for it.
Yeah. I mean, you've learned so much about these people that seeing it is like,
yes,
it's heavier.
That's what, our whole lives have been devoted to this.
To it. Yes.
Yeah. And you know, and screw the people who think that we don't have empathy for the victims. We do, like, because when you see those things and you realize, oh, that's what happened to so and so, it makes you sick. Because we do have empathy for the victims. For people who think that we're just all about making money off of victims' pains and the family pain, fuck you. Like we feel the pain of it because we know that that's a real thing that happened. Most of us believe it's a real thing that happened.
For people and that's it right there, Lee. The people that don't believe that, the empathy is why we're fucking sitting here still. Right. After the man's been convicted, put in prison, still trying to find answers to this because of that empathy. You guys understand that, because that's the fact right there.
Real quick before you start playing this, because I'm a devil's in the detail kind of guy. So I want to make sure that I explain to people what I see here in this picture before you even start rolling it. So we've got Lanier, right? And was he a captain?
He was the captain at that time before he retired. So
we got Captain Lanier. This appears to be, if I'm right, this appears to be at the corner of King Road and Queen Road.
Yes.
You in the distance, you see the band field. Behind there, way out there, is Sigma Chi behind there at the end of the road. So yeah, exactly where you got the mouse out there. So that's Sigma Chi, and the band field's that big grassy area. You'd be turning off a Taylor left onto King, and then you'd take a left right here where Lanier is at on Queen, and you'd be heading towards 1122 King Road residence. So he's kind of at the intersection there. But anyway, so I just wanted to paint that for those who don't know.
Yeah, he's talking to the body cam is Officer Snyder, and him and Lanier are having this conversation. I have the subtitles on just in case you guys can't hear it clearly. If you need me to stop, start, pause, back up, whatever, just tell me what to do. And the video came from another creator who's put out tons of these videos with the body cams and so on and so forth, by the name of Connor. I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat for you guys real quick.
Yeah, thanks to Connor for grabbing this and sharing it with the community.
Yeah, he's done a lot of good work with these body cams and stuff. So there's a link right there, guys. But on we go.
I don't know the names. I can tell you more over here if you want.
Oh.
That was quick. Hold on. Let me get back over to it.
And that's looking towards 1112 King, that house there at the balcony.
Right there. That's gun.
I like how they're taking him off to have a side conversation. I can tell you over here privately.
Right.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay, the house.
Hold on a minute.
They're going to be seen. We're going to walk around and look at cameras. Did you just hear that radio transmission just a minute ago? That somebody.
That was unrelated.
Oh, it wasn't to do with this.
I did have a camera up here, and they are going to be emailing me the footage from it. It just comes out this way, though. So,
okay,
the house is that one.
It's the one on the other side, right? The gray one up there. How many people live in that thing?
A bunch. There was a party last night, too.
At that house?
But
of course, redacted.
Fucking redacted. The amount
you
of
can tell.
the
Go ahead.
amount of shit that they're hiding, the amount of shit that they're hiding from the public tells you everything. Like they don't want you to know what happened that night.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. I was gonna say, God, we're thinking the same damn way too now. They're talking like you can tell that the way they're talking, even they're talking quiet, they're talking lower. They don't want other people around them, other officers even hearing what they're saying.
Yep.
There's something there with that. Okay, folks, that'll tell you right there. There's something wrong. Okay.
Yes.
Let me grab this because the copy that Amanda sent me, she says they actually say it. It's not redacted. So hang on. Let me grab that link.
Let me pull this down then. Okay.
Yeah. If we can find the same time marker.
And while Robin pulls that up, what is the thing that we always say? Why? Why are they hiding so much?
Right.
Yeah.
There has to be reasons, and my reason from day one is because the school has sway over what happens, and it's, I'm sure, the MPD, that's the lay of the land. That's the way it is. You're in a college town. That's where the money comes from. So you got to work, based on the way they want things done. So that just kind of is a thread that I think should always continue to be pulled.
Now, do we have a different type of redaction? We get to hear the audio, but we get visual redactions. Can we get a fucking file that has, anyways? But no, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, and before you get playing on it, here's the other part that bothers me about the whole thing. If we prove, like, we think it's clear that they're hiding stuff, and let's say they're hiding stuff because of a financial problem that's going to ruin the university or ruin the Moscow PD or ruin whatever. Are we the fucking assholes in the public because we expose what they're trying to hide? Like, we're the assholes, right? We're going to come out to be the assholes if we blow this thing up and blow the lid off of it and show that they're lying. We're still going to be the asshole at the end of the day for blowing it up. Like, fuck you for not accepting what happened. Yep. Well, you lied to everybody. You lied to America. No, you didn't just lie to America. This is an international case. People all over the world watch this case. So you lied to everyone, and we're the assholes. But anyways. All right, are we playing this?
Yeah, I didn't want to start till you were ready. Okay.
I'm done.
Yes, the one on the other side, right? The gray one. People living in it.
There's a party last night.
At that house.
But
fuck.
I don't know the names of the victims.
Oh,
wow,
shit.
right there.
Whoa.
Damn.
Play it back. One of the victims was a CI.
Yep.
Robin, send me that at the scanner. Drop me the link for that. Okay?
Will do.
I don't know the names of the victims.
And look,
wait a minute.
I mean, yes.
The one on the other side.
That's the answer right there.
I'm not a huge fan of something quiet and did you hear it, but it's pretty clear. It's pretty clear. One of the and like Joe said, I'm ready to start raging and I'm going to start dropping some F-bombs. That's fucking it right there. Just like you said, Joe, there's a confidential informant in the house. One of the victims was a confidential informant. That's why everyone in the fucking world was lied to, because there's a confidential informant that got killed.
And that is why that's the answer to the whole fucking thing, Lee. That's probably why they're dead. And that is why it's been fucking lied about the entire fucking 3 years right there.
They got a CI killed right under their nose, and it's a huge embarrassment.
100%.
Let's play it again to make sure that, because some people were saying, what'd they say? Let's play it again.
Put on your headphones, folks. Right. It's there.
Yep. Yeah, I can't.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the one on the other side, right? The gray one. People living in it.
A bunch. There's a party last night.
At that house.
But
Yeah. I mean, that's the I'm pretty sure that's what you hear.
That is absolutely what you hear.
And why wouldn't Captain Lanyard shut up? Because he doesn't want to fucking acknowledge that guy just said that on camera.
Exactly.
Why didn't they redact it, though?
You're recording there, boss, and he's probably like, "You dumb fuck, you just said that." Like, yeah.
And no wonder they fought so hard against getting any of this shit released.
Now, you guys, which one is it? Okay,
Kaylee.
That's what I've been thinking too.
In my opinion, it's Kaylee.
That's exactly what I thought too.
And again, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. You don't understand. They're gonna say that we're the assholes. We're the fucking assholes. Like we're getting closer and closer to what happened, and we're gonna be the assholes. We're gonna be crucified like we're a bunch of pieces of shit because we knew they were lying. We've always known they were lying. We just couldn't put our finger on it. We're getting closer. Again, we're putting a lot of weight on something you can hear very, very faintly, but we're all hearing it's a CI. And if there's a CI in the house, that changes so much in this case.
It changes everything, in my opinion.
We've theorized for a long time it was the case. We just didn't know, but they say it on camera. Come on.
Well, it also makes sense why Kaylee was leaving.
Yes.
Because she probably, again, pure speculation, if she was the CI, then she provided them with information and was like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. And she came back.
That would explain, Joe, why she didn't want to come back either, why it took her so long to decide. We've heard that whole story, like she kicked it around. Christy said it took her a while to make that decision to come back. But she said, okay, I'll show Maddie my car. Thinking she was probably going to only be there for the weekend. Everything will be fine. Boom.
You know what that also explains? If that's the case, Steve G's behavior.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Cat's Mojo real quick had asked the question, did he say is a CI or was a CI?
Yes.
But I will say they're talking about a victim, not a survivor. Because like some people are going to say, well, is Dylan the CI or is Bethany the CI? But they said one of the victims is a CI. So one of the people who died, that's what he's implying, I think. One of the victims that died was a CI.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it's what do we always say? You just pull the threads and eventually it comes to something, right? It leads to something.
Oof.
It's true. I mean, that people get pissed off that you're digging into shit. But that's how, you get to things by pulling on threads.
So, I mean, Fizzy Cake, by the way, is correcting me on this. They did refer to the survivors also as victims. So I guess you could still say, is the CI one of the survivors or is the CI one of the deceased? And maybe we don't know definitively.
I think they would have been a little more specific if they were referring to one of the two survivors, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And I think in the context of a murder, I think it's pretty explicit, the victim, one of the victims was CI.
I truly and honest to God think, because I see everybody in the chat, no, Robert, I think it was Kaylee. I do. I have thought that already. We've had this conversation. A few of us have had this conversation before. It makes so many things make sense now.
And think about it. For those who don't, because I feel like there's a lot of people get it. So don't get offended if you're out there and you think I'm mansplaining something that you all get, because it's clear from the chat that not everybody gets it. What is a CI and what does it mean and why would a person kill a CI? So let me give you a scenario. Again, under the scenario I just told you, Moscow Police Department has contacts inside Greek life to report on, do you see any drugs moving through the Greek university? Do you see anything illegal? If someone in that house was working with the police and ratting on a major drug industry that moves a lot of money, a lot of shit through the fraternity or sorority, then when someone finds out that, are you telling me so-and-so in the house has been talking to Moscow Police Department? I'll fucking kill him. I'm going to come in and I'm going to murder him, and I'll murder everybody in their family, all their friends. That's the kind of situation that gets people killed. When you're talking about a lot of money and someone finds out you've been ratting to the cops about their business and you're going to shut their business down, you're a dead man walking.
And yes, somebody's asked in the chat multiple times, do CIs get paid? Yeah, the ones that don't have a criminal record, they do. They get paid pretty decent money too, folks, from my understanding, depending on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Thomas Sharp said, he brought up a good point. And Maddie told Adam everything.
Yeah. Right.
Boom.
And again, let's not go absolutely nuts. Right. So everything I'm about to say is speculation. Everything is about speculation. But you start to ask the questions. If CIs get paid, Kaylee was making a lot of money. She had bank accounts all over the place. The police were looking into Kaylee's bank accounts and all the money she had. They wanted to, so she had a lot of money. That it looked like. At least she had a lot of bank accounts. Now you're talking about, what if she was the CI, and what if she told her best friend Maddie about what because she's getting ready to leave, right? She's leaving for Texas. She's gonna be gone, and she's like, hey, by the way, I've been working with the police this whole time, and then maybe Maddie goes and blabs that to somebody that night and is like, hey, did you know that she's been working with the police? And bada bing, you got motive for murders. They're gonna get you for that. They're gonna get you for that. You've been working with the police. They're gonna get you for that.
It almost makes. Go ahead, Robin.
But keep in mind too, they had ample, if Dylan or Bethany was the CI and somebody knew it, they had ample time to take care of Dylan and Bethany.
Yep.
If they were at the house that night. And we still don't know that for sure. But so it does not make sense to me that it would have been Dylan or Bethany as, the CI.
And again,
it also makes something else make a little more sense too, guys, that I've been railing on the whole time. I swear to you that everything that's holy, folks, that I truly believe at this point, even now, even more now, that Dylan purposely brought Kaylee back for that weekend. Okay.
Yes.
And that has got to be, in my opinion, the reason right there.
Yeah, she was brought back. I've been saying she was brought back because she was the target. They wanted her, and they wanted her back at the house. And again, let's go crazy, since we're going crazy. If there was a confidential informant, and if there, exactly. If there's a confidential informant and their confidential informant just got killed, and they know it, is this why? Two things that I say all the time. The officers tell Dylan, don't worry, you're not going to be in trouble for this. And they coach her. Did you see somebody like this? Was he maybe wearing a balaclava? Did he maybe have bushy? Like, they literally coach her to what she needs to say, telling her, don't worry, you're not going to be in trouble for anything, because they're telling her the story that she has to tell so they can have it go down a certain way.
Yep.
One could argue that's what happened.
Yes, sir.
Now I'm reluctant to put the tinfoil hat on, but we have to tie this into how could this relate to Kohberger, right? Because I've said almost from day one that I believe that Kohberger was working with or for the feds. Which is why his name was put into the mix, and why timelines were shifted to put him on the map, so to speak. But the question remains, in what capacity, if, let's just speculate, what capacity was Kohberger working? Let's just say he was working for the feds. In what capacity? Was he a CI? Was he somebody that maybe was keeping an eye? He was doing that on the side, as like keeping an eye on what's going on around the campuses, right? Because my theory is that he had applied to work for the feds. Yeah, and it's perfectly logical. Like he was, or maybe in some capacity, but I would think someone like him, with what he was trying to do, and someone who's pretty academically high level, he would have done something like that.
Joe, let me say this to add where you're going right now. It absolutely, in my mind, is, I can't even close my mouth. My mind's blown up so bad. There is a section in the Patterson book. I've said this to you guys before, I think, where Brian's dad is talking to one of his teachers, his best friend's mother, Brian's best friend's mother. They interact at the CBS, okay? And this was proven already because my friend Willie knows Brian, knows his family, blah, 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 and reiterated this, okay? Willie. And the statement was made between Michael and Brian's best friend's mother. Did you hear about Jeremy dying? And Michael said yes, so on and so forth. I'm not going to talk about everything else that was said, but then he said, does Brian know, or she said, does Brian know that Jeremy died? He died of an overdose. Michael said yes. We weren't able to tell him when it happened because he went away for a while. We don't know where he went, but he was gone for a while. When he came back, we absolutely let him know. It was upsetting, blah, blah, blah. That has stuck with me, Joe, in the back of my mind, or ever since I heard that, because they don't know where he went. His parents had no idea where he was. He had already processed through rehab, and that had been done. He was going through DeSales. He was doing all his stuff, but then he disappeared for a little while. Where did he go? It's always been my thought. Did he go off to a federal agency for some kind of training course or something? Or gets, that's my thought right there when you bring that up. That's all I'm saying. Go
yeah.
ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want
I have been saying this for a long time. I have never relented from this one thing, which is that I believe that he was working for or with, like he was either hired by them or he was contacted by them to work in some capacity through WSU because of they get that NIJ funding and there's an open pathway in a lot of colleges to both the CIA and other agencies. That's irrefutable. That's a fact. So that has always made me wonder now, especially, all right, why so much effort to shift the timeline? Right. So somebody just said in the chat, was he a handler? Well, if you were going to have somebody and you didn't want to be super obvious that is in connection with students that may be working with law enforcement, wouldn't it make sense to have another student so it's not as suspicious? Even if it's just you go to the and on top of that, so if he had contact with them previously, they would not want that to get out, that was the reason why he had contact with any of the potential victims or anybody in 1122. So I'm just saying that this opens up that, in my opinion, even more, because if someone in that house, one of the victims, presumably was a CI, well, then why is everything being shifted to insert Koberger into the mix? Why does he take a plea deal when they don't have strong evidence against him? It's all circumstantial. Well, if he's working with the feds and there's other things, they don't want it to get out that they got 4 students killed because one of them was working with law enforcement. So it just, again, I'm sorry. My mind is going a mile a minute right now.
Well, I think all of ours are. I mean, this is some shocking revelations.
Again, like, I mean, we're making a lot of that video, but that video seems to clearly say one of the victims is a CI. And if that's what was said, which I don't know how you not hear that, but if that's what's said, oh my God, that changes so much. And it gives every bit of reason for the fuckery, as Joe would say in this case. The fuckery is because there was a confidential informant that got killed in that house, and that's a major problem. What they were doing, and again, then it leads to that why question I ask. Why do they lie to everyone about what happened to an elaborate extent And this they already know what happened. This is what I say all the time. I say it all the time.
Yep.
The reason why law enforcement didn't ask the questions we all know they should have asked is because you don't ask questions you already know the answers to. They already know what happened that night.
Bingo.
They weren't investigating. They knew what happened at that night. In my opinion, I feel in my gut they didn't ask certain questions because they already knew the answers. They already knew the answers.
Once that statement came out, once that statement was known, everything went from there. They already knew what to do at that point when that was known. He told him that was told to the chief. This happened, that happened. Boom. They knew exactly where to go with that at that point, in my opinion.
And the amount of
it was a targeted attack.
Now let's ask you this, because this is JJ's state, the state of the D. So let's say this: what if the confidential informant was also working on something really big, like drug smuggling across the Mexican border through Texas or something like that, right? And so now all of a sudden you've got the Homeland Security angle, why Homeland Security was involved in it. And if it was all those crazy conspiracies that they literally have the legal right to lie to America and tell people that something happened that didn't happen because they're protecting a national security issue. Drugs running across the border through a college town. It's a huge investigation. They are legally allowed to lie about every fucking thing in this case. And we just all have to go piss ourselves because we were too smart to start figuring this shit out. But we're the problem because it's national security.
Let me throw something at you guys real fast. Kaylee told, I can't remember who was interviewed. It was either Bethany or Dylan. Okay. She told one of them, they knew that she was, and she told them it was for work, her job, that she was looking into RSOs that lived in the area. Okay. I was in an interview, folks, I can't remember which one of them said it, but they said it clear as day that she was looking into registered sex offenders that lived within this area for her job. I'm sure she wasn't going to tell them exactly. This is what I'm thinking, that maybe she said that to them. Maybe they came in on her looking up something, asked her what she was doing. And maybe, if somebody's a CI, they're not going to tell you exactly what they're doing, but maybe tell you somewhat along the lines of what they're doing in another way. So in turn, that could be exactly what that meant. Okay.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's funny. This pinned comment I read for you guys on one of my lives, a response I got from the FBI on a FOIA request about Kohberger. And one of the things they told me was one of the exemptions they stated was potentially protection of a CI, a confidential informant, somebody in witness protection. It was listed as one of the reasons why they may be exempted for telling me shit about Kohberger.
Right.
So this is all starting to take a lot of real teeth to it.
And Homeland Security being involved is not a normal thing, but they sure as hell were. So there you go.
And I say this a lot, and I sound like a broken record because I bring it up all the time. Anything that is under the blanket of national security, they don't have to tell you anything. They don't have to tell the public anything about that.
And they're not telling us dick.
No, they can totally. I don't know what happened with my camera there. I'll fix it. Can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'll fix the picture thing. But anything, and like I'm telling you guys this, everybody in the panel knows this, but for people that might not know this, I'm not using hyperbole. Literally anything, the worst possible thing the government could do. But if it's covered under national security, you'll never hear anything about it until maybe decades later if it gets declassified.
And so it just, again, what does that mean for us in the true crime community and then the public's interest of trying to prove that Brian Kohberger didn't do what they said he did, or he certainly didn't do it alone, or he certainly didn't do it in 8 minutes, that we know the story is bullshit. What does it do if they're legally allowed to lie about it all day long till they're blue in the face and there's nothing we can do? Like, do you just say, we'll never get to know the truth and that's just the way it is because it's national security? I mean, I don't know. And again, I guess where this goes, is that I'm already giving them the answer. People didn't. A lot of Americans don't believe that JFK was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald either, and the government has lied about it and to blue over and over and over again. And so it doesn't, I guess, at the end of the day, stop the public from talking about it and stop the armchair people from saying, "I'll guarantee you that's not how it fucking happened." But they're going to keep telling you all day long, every day, and you'll never get the answer that's what happened. When most Americans at the coffee table know that's not at all what happened. So, I mean, maybe it's just another one of these, moments in history where we're just going to go down as a coffee table discussion that we all know it didn't happen that way, but that officially that's going to be the story.
Do you guys remember the agents that showed up there in the van with the cowboy hats on that went in?
Yes.
Were in there for a while and then they came back out with bags, right?
Yep.
What if there were things in that house that nobody knew were in that house? Files, computer, maybe.
Yeah.
We know that, you know where I'm at with this now? Okay.
Yes.
Those gentlemen went into that house looking for something specific. They found it and they left with it in those bags. Okay. We've also been told that Kaylee's electronics were taken.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that they ever came back. Okay.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Look. You're making, again, if Kaylee was the confidential informant, they would want to scrub all her electronic devices, anything that she might have been keeping track of what their interactions were with her. That room downstairs on the very, very first floor, that was the working room. They redacted that with a big block and you couldn't see it. And I've raged. I'm like, why the fuck are we redacting anything on the first floor? No murders happened the first. Well, maybe they're redacting it because they don't want people asking questions. Hey, why was there a computer there a minute ago and there's no computer anymore? Where'd the computer go? Maybe that's why it's redacted. They don't want you knowing they took all the files out, all the computers out to hide the involvement. And because I've always asked, what the fuck are they redacting on the first floor?
Sir. Yes, my brain is spinning right now with all this shit. So yeah.
Robin and I keep trying to put Joe on stage and we keep
go ahead. You do it. You do it. There you go.
She had electronic devices that more than anybody else. Okay. Credit card readers, things like that. There was a bunch of different things that she had that nobody else did. And the laptop, was it in that fire that happened conveniently? Right. Just burn up. Okay. That's all I'm saying, Lee. That's all I'm saying.
It makes those cowboys, they went in there so fast.
Yes.
And they were not there very long. They knew what they were after and where it was.
They came out with brown paper
Right.
bags that you couldn't see through. So you'd no idea what's in that. They wouldn't speak to nobody. They wouldn't look at nobody. They got in their vehicle and off they went.
Oh my God. Let me, oh my God. Oh my God. What if, oh my God, like, is this crazy to even say in a live stream? What if law enforcement of some part was part of the cleanup because they had to clean up all the evidence of their interactions with Kaylee? What if they were literally the ones that were involved in the cleanup? And that's why the delay happened, is because they literally were part of the cleanup of trying to hide any evidence of what she was doing with the police department or at the FBI or whoever she was, I mean,
that
again,
would explain a lot. That would
100% speculation.
That would also
I think we should call this speculation night.
9 days to process the scene, Lee. 9 days.
Because they had to make sure it was all everything was out, that they had scrubbed everything, that all traces, all evidence. They had to make sure everything. They had to make fucking to the level of Kaylee's Fire Stick on the back of her TV. They had to make sure every trace of any potential digital footprint linking her to the people.
That would also explain the thousands of pictures truly that they took up her room but didn't take up anybody else's room.
Yep.
And another thing,
why they get rid of the house.
Right. Another thing too that it would sort of explain, what if Kaylee was going to be extracted?
Yeah.
So what if there was already a thing in place if they needed to extract her? Like if they got information that shit was going to go down, right? Because think about it. If you have a CI, you have to have backup plans, right? You have to have some different scenarios that could play out. And if somebody's a CI and it gets back that they've been exposed, well, then they would extract someone. I mean, look at any mafia movie, any mafia book, they pull out CIs, right? If they, like, for example, not long ago, Joe Pistone, Donnie Brasco.
I was just going to say Donnie Brasco. Yeah.
Yeah. He was just on a podcast not long ago. And he said they were talking about informants. And he said, yeah, we got this guy. And we found out they were put a hit out on him. So we went in and pulled him out. Right. So it could be that they already were in the wings, the marshals, the WITSEC program, in case they had to come in and take somebody out of there.
Not to mention, Joe, she was going on a backpacking trip, quote unquote, across Europe, and then on to Texas to start her new job. That's interesting to me because that's going to take her out of this environment, completely out of the country for a period of time, and then to another state when she comes back. Okay. Was she truly going to Texas? We don't know, but that's what she's telling everybody. There's a lot to this. There's a lot to this. Okay.
Well, this what we're saying right now, what we've been talking about for the last 15 minutes, makes so much sense now because they literally would have to have an extraction plan in place. They would have to. These are federal programs,
just in case, right?
Just in case if
their CI got compromised, they would have to be able to extract their CI and protect their CI.
Right. Yeah. So it could be that was in place. That could have already been in place. But she came back. She came back to the school that night. and now the question remains, who was she giving information about? Was it the frats? Was it bigger than that? Was it much higher level?
She had left the sorority and her friends left the sororities. Okay. Conveniently, all of them did at the same time, roughly.
Right.
So it could be a combination of things, Joe, but it makes, there was something else I was going to throw at you guys too, and I completely forgot it because of I'm not telling you bullshit when I tell you my brain is vibrating right now.
Let me throw another thing at you for the internet sleuths out there. I don't remember if we know who Kaylee was going to go work for in Texas, but if she was working with the CI, that job could have been handed to her. And so I would want to know the company that she was going to work for, because if they have connections to the government, she could have been actually being given a job and relocated, and that could have been where she was going. I want to know now about that company she was going to work for.
I knew the name of it. We looked into it, but somebody told me that Adam Lauda took that job after she passed on, that he ended up with that job.
And I wanted to say, Nancy Rode said in the chat two things I wanted to say. She said not all CIs are protected, considered collateral damage. I agree with that. I'm just simply stating that is something that could explain why marshals may have been at the house. And in addition to that, again, I'm sorry, I got to put the tinfoil hat on for a second. I've said for a long, long time, it's just my opinion, that I always got Fed vibes from Steve G. That's just what I felt. I obviously have no proof of anything. I'm just giving my opinion.
And he's an IT guy, right? So
right. And I've also said IT. That's like one of those jobs that it's just generic. Oh yeah, he worked in IT. Well, for who?
For a hospital, he claimed. Right. That's a little
right. I mean, but for people who don't know a lot about the intelligence agencies, when people are working in the intelligence agencies, if you're in the operations part of it, you often get cover jobs, right, that you work at. That's just a little aside, but it's a fact. So what if that's how, if Kaylee was allegedly a CI that's how she got connected with them. And that could also explain some more about, now we could be totally wrong. It could be somebody else that one of the other victims. It could. Now, someone mentioned in the chat, Ethan. Well, that if it was Ethan, that would explain how his parents got tied up with Othram Labs after the fact.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's that too. So we're just kind of speculating on this stuff now and trying to connect dots. That's, I think, all we're doing is pulling threads and trying to connect dots.
There is sure a lot of talk about Lana exposing Eric Gower as actually a police officer in a new video that's come out. Did you guys see this today or not?
No, she just ran it.
Wow. And if we don't know, I haven't seen it. I don't even like talking about things I haven't vetted first. But if Eric, I mean, look, we've been told Eric Gower's wife worked at the police department. Was Eric Gower himself also working with the police department? If he was, now all of a sudden you've got Eric Gower and Kaylee, who we know Kaylee has Eric Gower's personal cell phone in her phone. She doesn't even use Uber and Lyft to get a hold of him. She just texts him and gets direct rides from Eric Gower.
Stephen Christie said that he was a close family friend too. So
What did I say on one of our streams? I said, if you were doing investigations in an area, wouldn't you put a law enforcement officer or an agent in a ride share? Remember we talked about that? And I asked one because I talked about the NYPD using yellow cabs, detectives undercover in yellow cabs. I said that they would be utilizing that because your boots on the ground, you're in the trenches, you see everything that's going on. And dude, what you just said, DA, that ties what you guys are saying right now is connecting dots, because that would explain, oh yeah, he's like family, why he's got a close relationship with them. They're texting him because if oh man, this is opening up a whole
right. We're like our minds are just getting
easy, Joe.
in
Easy,
the middle
Joe.
of the night.
I can see the smoke coming out of your ears right now.
It
Like
makes so
pinball.
much. It makes so much fucking sense.
Oh,
like he could have been their handler. He could have been their go-between.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Because who was he giving rides to? The two that were not really into drugs.
And it's interesting that he would clock out of Uber and Lyft specifically to give them rides home.
Right. So he wasn't on the
to not document it.
Yes, off the clock.
Yep.
So now we have to ask the question: why? Who were they? Who were the likely culprits? Because if this is the impetus that caused this crime, then who would be the people that, we've talked about this before, but this reignites this discussion.
Yeah.
So what other threads now, based on this speculation that we're making right now, are the most plausible? Who would, number one, be aware that Kaylee was back, be assuming that, again, we're running with the theory that it was her that was the CI, who cued in and ready to take action. And then it goes back to, ties in the bigger question: why would they be covering up who the real perps were?
So
I wonder if this has anything to do with the estrangement that she had from her parents and her siblings before this all went down. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's God, it just, there's so much.
My money is still on the drug angle.
Yeah.
Because you've got Quinn.
Yeah. Because if there's a CI, the more likely scenario of a CI is a drug angle. I mean, it could be a CI about something else. It could be a CI about sex trafficking. It could be a CI about but the drug angle makes the most sense. There's been all kinds of rumors that there was drugs running out of the house. It's a party house. People were known to come there all the time. There's been rumors about Dylan and her boyfriend and his dad and all these rumors out in the way. Like the drug angle has, and again, remember, let's not forget the whole Xana and Maddie angle of their families being involved in a drug case, and and whether that all plays into it. Like there's been all kinds of rumors in the wind that would start to make sense if that house was on the radar as a drug house, if somebody started to work with the police to tell them about the drugs moving through the house, and that gets them killed.
Chris Tat, we listened to Officer Snyder tell that to Captain Lanier in his body cam video. That's why we believe that any of them are a CI, sir.
Right.
We verbally heard it come out of one of the law enforcement officers' mouth.
So my answer to this question, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, to be a CI, you have to be a criminal. No, you do not have to be a criminal to be a CI. All a CI means is you're a confidential informant. You don't have, it just so happens, this is my biased thing, a lot of time criminals are turned into CIs because it's a way to get leverage on somebody. Hey, you've got a criminal record. We can make some of that go away if you work with us. So it's often the case that CIs are criminals because, one, they're in the criminal organizations that the police are trying to get into, so they're already in that world, and it's one of those kind of like, we'll scratch your back if you scratch ours. We'll look the other way on your drug history or your criminal history if you do us a favor. But you do not have to be a criminal to be a CI. I don't know why I keep saying
if she was informing on one of the other roommates, you guys?
It's very possible.
That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah. I think one of the roommates, like a CI was telling them one of the roommates is involved in moving drugs through the fraternities or the sororities or the house, and that's what got them killed.
Yep. Yeah.
Another thing too, the chat was going off about who it might be, and it could be Xana and it could be Maddie. I'm trying to look at logic. Kaylee just so happened to be back that weekend, so it happens that weekend, right, where she's going to be there and then gone. So I'm trying to use these points. You're right, people that say it could have been Xana, it could have been Maddie. You're right, it could have. But I'm just trying to, it happened then. So it happened when Kaylee was back. So I'm trying to look at other things that are logical.
Like one person brought her back specifically.
Right. And another thing too is, it may not have been just drugs, right? It could be more like the fraternities, like things going on in the Greek life, which could encompass a bunch of different things. And so it's not related to one specific thing. So the drug angle has been thrown around a lot because there's been rumors all along that house was connected to drugs, right? So that would be a logical connection, right? I understand their rumors, but that would be a logical connection. The other thing is a lot of the shit that was going on within the Greek life, which the girls were involved in. That's another thread right there. So I agree with people that are saying it could have been Xana, it could have been Maddie. You're right. It could have been. My logic is, with Kaylee simply because of the timing of it.
Yeah. Just,
Eric,
go ahead.
If Eric Gower was acting, I mean, okay, let's just say he was a cop and he was acting to protect Kaylee. That did give her some, and it was Kaylee who was a CI. That would give her some protection. And we don't know, she could have had other people in a support network, so to speak. And that's another reason why things are so hard to get a hold of, is because there are just things they're not, no matter what we do, they're not going to give up.
That would truly explain why Gower was picking her and Maddie up and dropping them off too. Okay. That he's kind of, like you guys said, if he is law enforcement of some form, he's kind of a handler for law enforcement to protect and watch over them in that aspect. Any traveling they did or she did, he's going to be there for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a thing. So he takes them, they have fun. He picks them back up from that spot, drops them off. They look fine. He leaves. That could also explain. No, maybe not. I was going to say that could explain the Rosie and Tesdale circling the area that night the way they were too, but I think that's going a little too far. But still, it's a thought.
I mean, it is plausible at this point. but I agree with people that are saying, like Zach, because I would think, in just based on what we've heard and what we know, that Xana would be another potential person.
Yeah.
Right.
Because also too, you have to realize a lot of times if people get busted with drugs and they don't want to get arrested or go to jail for it, they'll become a CI. Right. So it's also plausible. Yeah. It's also plausible that somebody that was dabbling in drugs got snagged and then they became a CI out of necessity. And because they had to.
Yeah, Thompson's known for doing that there too, big time. He's known for doing that with a lot of people.
Right. So in my opinion, I would put Kaylee and Xana as the two most likely, in my opinion. But again, it could be. I'm just trying to use my own logic and connect it to other things that support what I think.
Yeah, and I hate to mention this, but everybody. So you guys know how I feel about enhanced audios with that, and I haven't heard. Everybody keeps bringing up now that it's a guaranteed thing that somebody said that's caught on audio about, are you double dipping? Right? This comment keeps coming up. Are you double dipping? And I don't know that I've heard the audio.
I have.
Do you feel that's what's said?
The person that put it together was a transcriber for the police department. Okay, a police department. So I listened to it with my recording headphones on, and I hear a lot of what she put on the screen.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie.
The only reason I'm bringing it up is if it's true, because I haven't heard it, so I want to make sure that you understand, that everybody understands. I'm not saying I heard it. I haven't heard it myself, but if there was a comment about double dipping, what could that possibly mean in a scenario like we're talking about? If, for example, a confidential informant was making money off of the sale of drugs and also working with the police department to rat on the sale of drugs, that would be double dipping. You're making money off of our drug sales, and you're getting paid by the cops to rat on the drug sales. Are you double dipping? So that would be an example. Now, I don't know that the double dipping comment.
There's also a statement in there, Lee, that there's a male saying, "Who told on us? Who went and told on us?" Okay.
Oh my God. Wow.
I can give it to you to listen to. It's up to you. I have it. So
I do want to see it. Yes.
Okay. I will. And I'm like you. I'm not.
Is this on the 1112 audio? Okay.
They took Jules's audio. And if it's okay, I want to put her link in here as well to give her credit for doing what she did.
Sure. Yeah.
It's on. They took Jules's audio. She listened to it. She transcribed it. She did her thing, and this is what she got out of it. And I'm listening to it on my studio headphones that I have for recording. I'm telling you, I hear a lot of what she put on the screen, guys. Truly, I did. And I listened to it first like this. Okay.
And part of the reason, I'll tell you this, like live, I'm telling you live, and I don't like to do this. Part of the reason why I didn't look at that audio was because I was told that same audio, you supposedly hear Kaylee gurgling and aspirating. And I'm like, how do you hear that from fucking, I'm like, I didn't even think it's possible to hear gurgling and aspirating.
I think the gurgling and I don't think that's true. I think it's just kind of like put in there as an assumption at that point. So that's fine. But the rest of the stuff, that's one thing I didn't hear. I'll tell you right now. The other stuff, though, I really did hear a lot of what I thought I heard. I'll just put it that way. It's crazy. Let me grab it real quick.
I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, that was wild. I know you're not a fan of that, and I really am. I don't trust a lot of that either, but this one took me by surprise, truly and honestly.
If someone, I hate to do it, but if someone said who told on us, that's huge, because again, it goes to the confidential informant. Who told on us would
There's
be
a few things in there that are interesting. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody disagrees with our understanding of what the term double dipping means, but
there's a couple some people think it means that you're cheating.
Yeah.
On
could.
Which could be too. You know, that was another thing too. But some people think that's what it means. Some people think a couple different things for it. I've seen. So, all right, let me get it back to the beginning. Let me blow it up.
I have pretty good headphones on, but I don't have my nice fancy Bose noise canceling headphones, but I'll do my best to, I might have to listen to it later if you send me the raw file again.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. And again, the channel. Let me see if this works. No, hold on. She's working on a part 2 of this right now too, by the way. So hold on. 1 minute. There it is. All right, let me know when you're ready. Is Joe still here, or
Joe said he stepped away? He probably wants to hear it, so I don't know how.
That's why I'm waiting.
He'd be right back. Yeah, there he is. There he is.
Okay, doke. Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
If you want me to start, stop, back up, whatever, just let me know and I'll do it.
Did you add it to the stage?
Would probably help, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I was really curious. I was just going to be quiet because I'm really curious how you were going to pull this off. But
yeah, I would have figured that out at that point. Yeah. Okay. All right. Ready to go? Somebody asked me to slow it down a little bit. Do you want me to do that?
I don't know.
I can slow it down by like 1. It won't affect it too much.
Okay.
All right. 1 minute. Sorry. Like I said, I hear some of what she's putting on screen. I listen to it like this the first time. Then I listen to it second time watching it. A lot of it I don't hear. A lot of it, like some of it I do hear, a lot of it I don't hear. So it's up to what you guys perceive it as.
Yeah. And it sucks because I hate being the party pooper, but
I'm with you. I get it.
So much of that conversation wouldn't make sense. It's not a conversation. It's not a conversation style. What it feels like, unfortunately, to me, is somebody who has a narrative in their head of what they think happened, and then they're picking out words and going, "Oh, that's probably this," and it doesn't make sense. It's not conversational. It's just random shit that because they know the name Quinn, now all of a sudden they hear a noise and that's where they say Quinn, and because they know the name Kaylee, they hear something and that's probably Kaylee, and so this is why I hate.
I get it.
Captions and why, but I mean, for what it's worth discussing. I mean, that's what we do here as a panel, is getting second opinions. My feeling is I don't feel that's conversational. I think someone's hearing what they want to hear in a lot of that stuff. But a lot of people, and here's the thing, that's the problem. People will tell me as DA, definitively they said this, and it's based on that, and that's not definitive to me at all. It's very garbled. It's very hard to hear, and once you've been told what to hear, that's been planted in your head, I mean, I'll be fair, there was moments then they put it on screen and I'm like, oh, that does sound like that. But if you hadn't have just told me that's what it said, I remember listening to that over and over again. I never heard it until you told me what it said.
And that's a big part of this, is suggestive hearing, because that's why I watched it like this first.
Yeah.
And then I watched it the second time and I'm like, okay, so I did hear this. I did hear that. I did hear this. But a lot of things I couldn't make out, truly, honestly, and here's the thing. It doesn't have to be written in stone, folks. It's something we're listening to help go along with what we're trying to figure out. That's all it is. It's a resource. That's it.
And look, I feel like some people might, I mean, I see a lot of people in the chat are agreeing with my position, which is, look, I don't like this for this reason, but and maybe you're thinking I'm a hypocrite because I did a lot of this with Brent Kopacka's standoff, but there was a little bit of a difference, right? Because I was listening to two different audio sources, one which was closer to the action and further away from the action, and combining the two and syncing the two. It was to me, it was different. I mean, I was hearing really clear audio. This is very muddled. In fact, I would argue there's reasons to believe Moscow police muddied the sound on this audio. It feels like the sound has been
at this point, for sure. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever seen this real quick, Robin? What I have behind backstage there. This came out of one of the pay apps that were given out. I seen this a long time ago.
You want me to put it on screen?
Yeah, just throw it up real fast. This was sent to me a while back, actually, and she just dropped it again. Kaylee Gonsalves paid Ashlyn Valdez, I think it is, on October 29th to 22 for a fake fight. Does anybody have a clue what that is or what that is even about?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what that's about.
I've never been able to find anything that matches up with that, but that came off of one of the pay apps, and I remember getting that a long time ago, and she just redropped it to me, so that's why I was asking real quick since she had it. And I think she's referring, Molly sent that, saying they were saying in there, if it's true that it was all fake, and maybe they're referring to the fake fight thing, if that's anything at all. So I think that's why she sent it to me.
Yeah. And here's by the way, somebody said something here. We're exploring it, but hear me out. Have 10 people listen blind and write what they think they hear and see what overlaps. I almost guarantee you, if you gave that audio only to somebody who didn't know anything about the Idaho 4 case, you will never fucking come close. Never come close to hearing the shit that they say they hear on there. If you don't already know names like Quinn and Kaylee and whatever, you would never hear that. And I almost guarantee you give this to people who don't know the Idaho 4 case and just say, listen to this and tell me what you transcribe it for me. I bet you it would be ridiculously off from what we think, right?
And I agree with that. That's how this happens, guys. It's like just like that game. I don't know if anybody's ever played it, but you have 10 people sitting in a row, sitting side by side, and the first person whispers something in that person's ear, and by the time it gets to the end, it's nothing like what the hell they said. So yeah.
All right, I'm gonna play devil's advocates with the devil's advocate. Okay?
You're not allowed to do that, sir. All right, go ahead.
All right. So you're listening to a song, and it's a jamming song, whatever, and you hear certain lyrics that you believe are the lyrics of the song. And then you look at the video of that song on YouTube that has the lyrics in there. And now you see what the lyrics actually said, and you go, "Oh, now I hear it. Now I hear that word instead of what I thought that word was," right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I would argue that sometimes the brain just gets distracted by background noise and volume shifts and sporadic sounds. But then, and I studied perception, so I can tell you this is a fact. What happens is sometimes you need to fill in a few gaps, and then the rest of it gets pulled into focus. So sometimes, not to say that the captions are totally correct. What I'm saying is sometimes somebody might hear a different 50% of a phrase than you heard. And then they put what they heard, and it now clarifies the 50% that you heard, that what you believed it said. And if it makes logical sense, then the brain will connect those things based on the way the brain works.
Such as, hold me closer, Tony Danza.
Right. I got several things to say about that. It's funny that you mention it, because as a boy, when I didn't know a lot of adult things or didn't have a great vocabulary, I would hear songs, and I thought for my entire life the song said a certain thing. And like you said, Joe, I get older as an adult. I haven't heard that song in 10 years. All of a sudden it comes on and I'm like, oh my God, for the first time in my life, I just heard what it actually said, because now I'm more mature. Yeah. Realize the context of the song. I had the word completely wrong, but I didn't think that way as a boy, so I didn't hear it that way, right? So that kind of, and our minds are designed to tell, our minds are interpreters, and they look for pattern recognition. Our brains look for pattern recognition. So when you hear muddled things, your brain is trying to make sense of what it hears. That's part of the counter to that, is that of course your brain is going to start hearing stuff in the audio, because your brain's designed that way. It wants to make sense of what you're hearing and make a story that makes sense. So
now, one thing I do just want to say is that somebody like mentioned me by name. I'm not sure where it went now. They said, who narrated it? If these voices were, okay, I'm just speculating here. Don't come at me. I'm not accusing anybody or anything like that. But they asked who narrated these words, like who would it be? You can make AI say anything you want it to. And I know because I work with a book narrator, okay? And I also write dialogue. Like I write dialogue. Lee is right. That is not a conversation. That is not how a conversation flows. So because I write dialogue, I understand you're catching snippets and phrases. It's not a continuous thing that's happening there. Now, could there be breaks in the audio because of whatever fuckery that the cops have potentially done? Sure, there could be. And that could account for some of the inconsistencies. But and so speaking as someone who is kind of in that industry, I can say that these things can be done. Now, am I saying that was done here? No, I'm not saying that was done here. I'm just saying we're just speculating, and we're talking about things. We want to approach things from a rational standpoint.
And
it
was very chopped up.
I want to add one thing about captions and stuff like that too. I'll just say it. Voice recognition sucks balls. I can tell you all the time, I try to do voice recognition as I'm driving, and I'll hit the button, and what I say isn't even remotely to what the computer thought that I said. So that's just a prime example. That if you think that, oh, well, the computer can listen to it and analyze and tell you what it said, and everybody relies on, just turn the captions, let's see what it says. AI gets shit wrong constantly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't get it to send a text message. I can't say my wife's name because it doesn't understand my wife's name. So it comes up with some crazy shit, like, because it doesn't know what the word is. So it just comes up with the best approximation it can. So you cannot rely on captioning stuff to be accurate for you.
So one of the voices in those caption sections was clearly a female, in black, not the ones that I guess they were implying were Kaylee and Maddie or whatever. I guess it would be Kaylee and Maddie because they were asking, where's Anna and Ethan? But there was a female voice there, right? You guys heard that was aggressive or whatever. Now, what two people do we know of that were involved with drugs who got let off on a very serious charge? And it was told that it was on some technicality.
B&E, yeah.
Right.
Right. Yep. So I've said this for a long time. There were rumors, again, I get it. It's rumors like that. Those two people were at the house that morning outside. You all know, I know most people here know who I'm talking about. I just don't want to say their names, but
you can. I mean,
Emma and Demetrius.
Yeah. Right.
So we know one of them, again, logic, had a history of violence. By every account.
Demetrius
was a big dude. He had a history of violence. We know that based on everything I've seen and arrest videos and everything else, the other one was, in my opinion, shady, a shady person. And Dago, myself, Rob, anybody who spent time in the nightlife has been around these kinds of people.
Yep.
And I did for many, many years. And I've been around bad people, and so I've known people that were bad people. So you get two people like that are acquainted with the house. And then, you would say, well, why wouldn't they be investigated? Why wouldn't they? Well, if they were working with the cops and they were connected to a quadruple homicide, that is not something that they'd want the public to know about. Just a thought.
Those two, in my opinion, I'll be honest with you, obviously rolled on somebody else. There's no way in hell that they got off on the charges that were presented to them. The way they did get off, they just walked. That was the end of it. They were gone, okay? And nothing ever came back of those charges. So it's obvious that they rolled on somebody else. There's no other way that works.
So real quick, I want to say our minds kind of exploded there. For what happened to Robin? I was looking away and I came back and Robin was gone. Did she disappear?
I have no idea. She just popped up real quick.
So I kind of want to say, like, tonight was a little off the rails. I usually don't do that kind of stuff, because again, I'm a kind of person that likes to vet things before I say it. But as we live played, one of the victims was a CI. It kind of fucking opened up that, oh my God, does that just explain so much? And it does. It explains so much if that's what it said. Like I keep trying to convince myself that could it have said anything other than what we just thought it said. Like, it definitely sounds like that's what they said. But anyways, what I want to do is this. I want to kind of wrap it up because I want to give you guys a chance, if you're willing, to participate in that, what we talked about, which was a review of some of the things that we see in the graphic crime scene photos. And by the way, this is even more important tonight in light of the idea of, was there a confidential informant in the house? Because I think that it'll be part of that discussion. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I've got a Discord server. I've got a channel. I've made it a public channel. I'm going to put the link in here, and it's going to take you directly to a channel called Graphic Crime Scene Photos, and it's a voice channel in Discord. If you click on it, it should take you right in there. If it does, chill for about 10 minutes after we close so that I can take a potty break and our group can reassemble, and those who want to join us. I really wish Dago and Robin and JJ will come back for the Discord discussion, and we'll pull up some of the photos and talk about the and what's that? What's that? Oh, you're muted or you're muted?
It's gonna cost you, buddy. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was gonna say this would be a free. It's like I'm not charging for this. This is a free thing. All right.
I'm just messing with you.
Discord channel. What I would like to see real quick before we close is a few people actually follow that link and prove that you can get into it, so I can see people popping into that channel, proving that it's working. And then once we do, we'll close, and then we'll take a potty break and we'll meet up there. So I'm looking right now to see if anybody pops into the. There we go. Somebody just popped in. Another person just popped in. So it is working. Okay, the link's working. So those who want to join us. Again, we will be looking at graphic crime scene photos and discussing what we see in those photos. It's only for people who can handle that kind of stuff. And as we said at the beginning, some people will think they can handle it and not handle it. So you don't know what your tolerance level is. Just understand that you're going to need to be able to handle one of those things. It's going to be one of those, once you see it, you can't unsee it kind of thing. So it's hard to see, but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah, and please, if you start to see it, and you start to feel some kind of way, don't be ashamed. And you need to back out. Just do what you got to do, folks. That's natural instinct. Do what you have to do. There's no shame whatsoever.
I don't think we're going to hit this limit, but I think Discord might cap the room at 100 or 200 people. I can't remember. So we've got like 493 that are watching right now. And so everybody can't make it. So if you want to make it, you might want to make it as quickly as possible. First come, first serve until the room fills up. Hopefully you guys can get in there. In fact, I better get my hosts in there pretty quickly. So let's
people are asking for the link in the chat.
I posted it a couple times. I'll post it again. Dago, why don't you say some good nights? We'll go to JJ. We'll go to Robin. I'll say good night, and then we'll meet over there.
Thank you guys for an amazing show as always. Thank you to this amazing united community. Again, I appreciate and love each and every single one of you. I will not separate the community anymore because at this point, I don't believe it is. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to all the moderators, Blue Crew, and I'm just going to call all of them a Blue Crew for me. So all of you guys, appreciate you. Go ahead.
Real quick, Dago, if you want your group to join, I don't know if you don't want your group to join, but they're saying they don't see the link on your side because. Can
you drop it to me real quick there, Robin, in the private chat?
Robin, can you put it in private chat for him? You can put it on his side.
Hang on.
Yeah, I'll drop it real quick.
I don't want his people to get locked out because everybody on our side filled up the room before his people got a chance to get in there.
God damn it.
JJ, go ahead and say your final thoughts before we log out.
Yeah, sure. Thank you to everybody as always. And it's pretty intense stuff happened tonight. I feel like it opened up a whole other arena of inquiry now. It just, again, speculation at this point, of course. But thank you to you guys. Thank you to the denizens and the meatballs and all the mods. And I did want to comment on something I just saw in the chat before we go. People keep saying who they think the CIs were. And I just wanted to say the reason why I am leaning towards Kaylee again, because I think Xana and Ethan supposedly like to do a little drugs every once in a while. So in my opinion, that wouldn't necessarily be consistent. That doesn't exclude them. But I just think that from what we know, Kaylee wasn't really into that. From what we've heard, at least what I recall. So anyway, that's just one of the things that's giving me more weight towards Kaylee. But again, thank you guys for another good stream. I really, this was an intense one for me.
It was.
Yeah.
It was great though. It was great.
So all right, Robin, see you guys in the Discord shortly.
Go jump over there. Go if you can, jump over there right now. It's filling up fast, and I want to make sure I can get in too. So I would hate this if you find out I can't get into my own room.
You want me to go
Robin,
in there?
did you want to say something? Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead and
just real quick. Thanks for coming out, everyone. Thanks for allowing us the room to speculate, to go through things, thinking things on the fly, and those of you hopefully can get in the Discord. Come on.
All right. And with that, I'm going to take off as well. Room's packing up fast. A lot of people want to get into this. So thank you all for the great stream. Sorry if it was a little bit off the rails. I don't usually like talk about stuff that I haven't vetted, but wow, did we have some mind expanding ideas tonight just off of freeform shit. It was good. It was a great discussion tonight. Check you guys out next time on Crimes After Dark, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thanks, Dago and JJ and Robin. You guys are the best. Let's go have some fun over there in the Discord channel.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.